Thank you for participating today. We'll now begin with an opening statement from head coach Katrina Merriweather and then go to questions. Coach, if you could give us a brief opening statement, then we'll go to questions.
Well, today was tough, obviously. We didn't make the shots that we thought that we would. Credit Missouri State with their game plan and their defense. Never did I imagine that this group would get out-rebounded the way that we did. And so there are a lot of things that when you look at that stat sheet, it's a little difficult to comprehend. But I will say I'm extremely proud of the step that this team and this program have made in this tournament. And we just weren't ready, and that's okay, because hopefully there's a lot more basketball in all of our futures to give us another opportunity to take another step forward here soon.
Coach, Angel Baker had some of her biggest games this season at some of the most important times, particularly this postseason. Talk about her contributions so far.
Well, I know people are probably tired of hearing me say it, but I think she's one of the toughest guards in the country. She's difficult to defend. She can handle the ball. She can score all three levels, and she's seen multiple defensive game plans, and she's been able to show up. Obviously, today she's disappointed and very hurt, because I think that when you have a game like you did 2 days ago, what you are determined to do is try to have it again. But I think it was pretty obvious, that all of them, including her, were a little spent. Took a lot of energy and emotions for a couple days ago. But what she has meant to this program and what we've been able to do since she joined is take it up a notch, and she's responsible for a lot of that.
After a quiet game against Arkansas on Monday, Shamari Hale came off the bench today to score 10 off 4 of 5 shooting. Talk about what Shamari did today.
Well, I think that sometimes the most amazing thing about us is that we can be very high energy and, again, play with a lot of passion. Unfortunately, our maturity sometimes causes us to, or immaturity at times, causes us to get a little low with the lows. And what I felt like Shamari was able to do, who we affectionately call Tank, was kind of shut out the noise. And despite what was going on, show up better than she did a couple days ago. So really proud of her, for not allowing her performance 2 days ago to impact her outlook on today and her focus. So I think that was a step in the right direction for her as well.
This tournament, we've seen some great success from teams that are from so-called mid-majors, whether it was you guys knocking off Arkansas, Belmont, BYU advancing. What do these sort of achievements say about the so-called mid-majors?
I love that you say so-called, because I feel the same way. What I think and what I hope it does is that it opens up some more conversation for more coverage, for more visibility for mid-majors, that hopefully people will continue, the media will continue to do research and pay attention and not just assume that the top players are in the Power Five or the Group of Five, and give these young women an opportunity to showcase and for them to have the ability to be seen. And hopefully we don't always have to make it to the NCAA tournament with us being a one-bid league and a lot of one-bid leagues in our sport. I really want the respect for all of us, for our leagues, for our teams, for our players, for our coaches. I think we have a lot and we contribute a lot to this game, and it would be nice if Angel Baker didn't have to get 26 points against Arkansas, or the last time that you all may have recognized or realized that she was here was 2 years ago against Texas A&M, because she's been good the whole time. And there's a lot of players like that at our level.
Ellie Rufford of Missouri State finished with 20 points tonight. What made it so difficult to contain her?
Well, first of all, they're very good. And that's obvious when they ran the table in the MVC, right? So I think a lot of people have a lot of trouble containing all of them on different nights. they had great execution, great patience. I think they controlled the tempo of the game. They just played an amazing 40 minutes, even with the slow start that I feel like we both had. Containing them would mean that we could not be a step slow like we were today. Containing them would mean that we have to rebound the ball at the pace that we normally do. We would have to be more of the team that we've been, in the last couple weeks to compete. And I said it to Coach Mox today. We weren't ready, unfortunately, but they were. And I think that they have a chance to win another game, if not two, with all the talent that they have and the way that they control tempo and the way they play.
You've had great success since taking over at Wright State. How has this season really ranked among those that you've been at so far?
Well, everyone is special because I feel like every year what we've done is been able to take another step. Obviously making the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, and again, it doesn't get a lot of recognition or attention, but we graduate, 3 seniors that are 1,000-point scorers, and one of those also had 1,000 rebounds in her career, and we turn around and we finish tied for second and win 19 games a year ago. And so people, because we didn't play in the NCAA tournament or because we didn't win the regular season championship, I felt like last year was even a step forward based on what we lost. And you bring it up, so-called mid-majors, when we graduate big classes and or really good players, our ability to sustain winning seasons and to finish in the top 3 in our league says a lot about our personnel. It says a lot about the players that we have on our team and how they step up when people graduate. And again, I think we were able to do that this year. So we're just getting a little bit better and hopefully building a championship program and not just a championship team once every 4 or 5 years.
In a year which nearly everyone saw games postponed, canceled, paused, or just general disruption, how proud of you of this group for sticking together and really succeeding?
Extremely. We talked about that, that locker room is full of a bunch of very, very hurt young women. And we talked about how they could have given up, how they could have quit, how they could have bowed out, how when it got tough, they could have just threw their hands up, or when they started to miss their families too much, or the sacrifice was just too much and too many, and they just weren't going to do it anymore. And we have a class of seniors where only one plays significant minutes, and the other 3 we still rely and depend on their leadership, and they could have quit too. They could have opted to say, well, if I'm not going to play, I just want to go home and take classes and keep my scholarship. And I think that happened at some parts in some teams around the country, and we didn't have to battle that. That wasn't a challenge for us. We had players that were bought in and believed that we could do something special no matter how many obstacles there were.
We're now joined by Angel Baker, and we'll begin the press conference. Angel, you had some of your biggest games this season at the most important times, particularly this postseason. What made you really take it to the next level during this stretch?
I feel like I took kind of easy before the postseason, and I feel like the postseason is where my team needed me the most, where I needed to step up the most, and that's what I did.
Ellie Rufford, number 2 on Missouri State, finished with 20 points tonight. What made it so difficult to hold her down?
Who?
Number 2 on Missouri State.
Well, she's a good shooter. We kind of lost her a couple times. A person that can shoot the ball that good, we can't. Giving her wide open looks is like the basket's wide open, I guess.
Your teammate Shamari Hale came off the bench today and scored 10 points. Great shooting, 4 of 5. Talk about how she contributed today.
Shamari gave us a good spark. When we get our head down, she was the one that continued to put the ball in the basket, knowing that it was hard for others to put the ball in the basket, including myself. She gave us that spark.
2 NCAA birds in the last 3 years in either the NCAA tournament or the WNIT in 5 of the last 6. Do you think playing in today's second round really showed the country that this is where you belong?
Yeah, but at the same time, I wasn't able to play my best basketball. Kind of had one of my worst nights, but I feel like I can play at this level.
In a year where your team and nearly everyone else in the country had games postponed or canceled or some sort of disruption, what really kept you all together as a team and persevered?
I think just our willingness to just stay together, even when it was hard on us, even when things was uncertain. Just staying together, staying the course, and knowing what we wanted at the end of the day. I think that's what made us stay together the most, or keep going, I should say.
How proud are you of your team right now? The second round of the NCAA tournament and pulling off one of the biggest upsets in a long time.
I'm extremely proud of this team. When we first started, we didn't even think we would be here, so I'm extremely proud of this team, for sure. A lot of people counted us out. A lot of people didn't think we would make it. A lot of people didn't think we would make it out of the Horizon League, especially out of the first round. But it feels good to make history for this program. Make history for this program, yeah.
Angel, thanks for your time today and congratulations on the season.
Thank you.
That's it for today's news conference. A recording of the press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.baritone.com. Thanks for joining us.